Hey, what's going on, folks? Doing another lab video here. This time, I am going to be doing the Multi-VRF CE configuration. Now, coming off of the last couple days, a lot going on, pretty tired. So I didn't do as many videos as I like. And plus, the deeper I'm getting into the workbook, the more configurations, which means the more time it takes. So um, I didn't want to get too deep into stuff where I'm just completely tired and you guys can't understand me and all that good stuff. So, um, and then also I kind of came off of a shell shock, a bit of a shell shock, um, about my studies. So a buddy of mine's already took the CCIE written service provider, and I asked him, hey man, how did the test go? What did you, he essentially told me that he failed the first time and he used the exact same studying materials that I'm using, which sucks, right? Which is just the I&E material. Um, but he's already CCIE certified, and what killed him on the written, he was telling me, was a lot of the new technology stuff. And what it sounds like to me is what they are doing is really taking the fundamentals, taking you to the fundamentals as far as the test is concerned, the written portion of the test, going back to some PPPoE stuff, network virtualization, whether it's hardware or software virtualization, all these different things. So I freaked out, but he told me a book that he ended up reading. He passed it a second time, but the book that he ended up using was this one here, which is Service Provider Written. So this is Nick Russo's book. This is the only one that I have found that has everything. So if you want to get all the what you need to get studied for the CCIE service provider, you're gonna possibly need to get your CCNA books, your CCNP books, and your CCIE books for the service provider track. What Russo did was he went and followed the blueprint, and essentially a lot of that information digs back into those certification tracks. So he combined it all together and made it a one-stop shop for your configuration. I mean, for your lab studies. So I'm reading this book now. Added a little bit more time on my lab test date, but I mean on my test date, but it's all good. So just wanted to throw that out there. Uh, but INA is still good. But what's cool about this is that this also gives you diagrams and all this stuff, and he gives you full configurations. If you don't know Nick Russo, he's pretty popular, I would say, in the Cisco world. But he's been like I said, he's came out with a pretty good guide, and all the reviews are just damn near amazing from what I'm seeing. So we'll see. My reading so far has been pretty good. It's helped solidifying some of the stuff that I had questions about, and then um, showing me some stuff that I overlooked. I never went NP or NA with my service provider. I'm just going straight CCIE. So there was some stuff that I should have went back and went, and read through for at least in the CCNA just to get some of the basic architectural um, definitions and all that stuff down packed. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. In this particular lab, we will be working on, oops, multi-VRF multi-VRF CE. Now, what this means is that what you're going to essentially be doing is you're going to be taking you're extending the provider edge to the CEs. And what I mean by that, and this is the diagram that we're going to be using. Let me pull this here. So what I mean by that is that normally, in normal cases, you would have R1, R2 would be your PE, and XR1 would be your PE, and that would be your CE. And then this interface that is connecting XR1 and XR2 and R1 and R2 are in a VRF. Now, those interfaces being in our VRF signals that he's participating within this customer's site, that between the VP and V4 sessions we're exchanging those NLRIs for the BGP table, right? Now, in this case, instead of us doing a single interface in that VRF, what we're essentially doing is that we're extending the provider core over to R1. R1 is technically now the PE to the C routers, And what would happen is that all in underlying interfaces going back between R1 and R2 are going to be in respective VRFs. And then you would form some kind of routing protocol adjacency over that interface to establish end-to-end connectivity. Um, that's just high level. I'm just going basically from what I understand on it, but I don't know exactly how they did this in the topology. I haven't actually read through the lab yet, so we're gonna go ahead and do this all from scratch. Might make some mistakes. I'm pretty tired. Had a lot going on this week, and you know, no excuses. But just wanted to throw that out there. Anyway, so let's go ahead and pull up our configuration task. You say this one's pretty lengthy. It's probably gonna be about 2 videos. So the first task is going to be configuring a VRF on R1, R2, XR1, R4, and XR2. So we're going to configure, let's pull up so we're going to configure VRFs on R1, R2, R4, XR1, and XR2. Okay, this seems pretty straightforward. And then assign the VRF to the following links. So R1 and R2 is going to have his IP address. Oh, looks like we have two IPs here. 30.1.2. Okay, yeah, I see what they're doing. Okay, yeah. And then XR2, the 1920 interface is going to be in there. Alright. R3, R1, R3's link. R4 and R7's link. Okay. And XR2 and R6's link. Alright, pretty straightforward. Same thing, we're just going to do this with VPN B, and we're just going to have different interfaces assigned to that, but that's where the multi-VRF is going to come into say. On OSPF, configure OSPF routing for VRF VPN A, so we're going to use OSPF on the P to CE link as well as the inter-AS or intra-AS links. And then we're going to use RIP for VPN B's inter-AS and P to CE link. Configure VPN v4 BGP and then verify reachability. So seems pretty straightforward. Looks like it's a lot, but it's not as much. I'm gonna really take some shortcuts on this just to get through. I mean, people watching this should technically already understand what a lot of these protocols are doing. So we're just gonna make this pretty quickly. Do this pretty quick. So the easiest so far. Let's go ahead and do the VPN A first. So we'll create VPN, the VRFs on R1, R2, R4, XR1, and XR2. So we're gonna go ahead and do definition VPN A, route distinguisher 100.01, route target both 100.01, just family IPv4 unicast. So run section VRF. So we got that. And we're going to put this in R2, R4, R2, R4, and XR1 and XR2. So we're going to do those configs now. Import route target. Target 100.01. Show. Put this on XR2 as well. Commit. Commit. So let's go ahead and put the interfaces in the right VRF. So on R1 and R2 should be the interface with the IP address of 1.2.0. So let's do that. So, again. So, forwarding VPN A. Put this IP address back on here. Then R2 on his side as well. Put that IP back on. So that's good. Now XR2 and XR1 should be in VPNA, XR2 and XR1, and then the IP address on there is 10.19.20. So 10.19.20 show IP address. So that's same thing. Take this off. Alright, 1 second here. Alright. So VRF VPNA commit. That's good. Let's go back here. And all that looks good. And then R1's link to R9. So R1's link to R9, which is 120. So if you look at the diagram here, that'll be gig 120. Then R4's linked to R7, which is gonna be gig 447. That's good. And then XR2 is linked to R6. So back in the diagram, XR2 is linked to R6, which is 620. So Then good. So all that is completed. So we got to do the same thing now for VPNB section. Just grab this information here. I'm just gonna call it VPNB. So that's gonna go on R1, 2, 5, and XR1. Simple enough. 1, 2, 5, XR1. 1, 2, 5, and then XR1 and XR2. B, 2, 2. Hmm. So next, gotta assign the interfaces. So let's go ahead and on R1 and R2 on the links with addresses 330.2 on the 2. Let's see. Oh, I put the wrong IP, wrong interfaces. I grabbed the wrong one. Huh, my bad. Let's go and fix this first. Okay, and this one, he needs to go to VPNB. Okay. Okay, it's good. Okay, so now VRF and then R2, we gotta do it on R2 side now. Alright, link is finished. XR1 and XR2's link 30.19. this. Mm, like I said, we're just going through the motion. I could be doing this a lot quicker, but I kind of want to show you guys how the commands look. It would save a lot of time if I went ahead and just did Notepad. It would save a lot more time, but I don't know. I'm just being lazy right now. I'm really doing this the hard way, right? Um, and then R1's linked to R9 is done. R5's linked to R8. And XR2 is linked to R9. So this link here. So good. All right, we're gonna stop the video right here, and then we're gonna pick up for configuring the OSPF for the routing processes for the actual individual VPNs. Tired, but whatever. We're gonna truck through this, make this happen. All right. See you guys in the next video.